Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another DIY Monday. My name is Joyce McTeer and I am the owner and operator of LaJoytra Creation Designs. I'm coming to you ladies and gentlemen today with a DIY on a pair of earrings. Yesterday, if you all watched the video that I did about Dr. Veronica Cheyenne, she gave me some very beautiful fabric remnants. And today I'm going to be making a pair of the fabric that she gave me from one of the remnants that she gave me. And this is pretty much what the remnant looks like. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So here are the things that you are going to need for your DIY. First of all, y'all, I'm going to be using black acrylic gloss paint. You're going to need 2 pieces of the stars, and these are the stars that she gave me, so I'm going to be using these. Also, make sure that before you paint that you pierce a hole. I have put a hole in both of my pieces. Okay, you are going to need some E6000, a paintbrush, some water to put your paintbrush in after you finish. You're going to need a ruler. You are going to need, this is a case that I got from the Dollar Tree, and when I paint my items, most of the time I will put them in here to dry. Okay, I don't know if you have one of these or not, but I got this from the Dollar Tree. You're going to need your round nose pliers and your wire cutters. You're going to need 2 coral shells. You're going to need some 20 gauge wire, and you're going to need some 12 gauge wire. Now this 12 gauge wire is 12 inches long. This 20 gauge wire is, I just cut it till about maybe 6 inches long. It's really not that long. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and get started. And you're also going to need your handy dandy glue gun. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so the very first thing that we do is we're going to have our wood, and we're going to just take our round nose pliers, or you can get a hammer and a nail, and you're going to pierce your wood. Okay, that's the very first thing that you want to do, because what I find is when I wait until after I paint it and all that stuff to put my hole in my wood, I find my wood sometimes cracking and all that. So do it before you paint your piece of wood. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to take my 20 gauge wire, and I'm going to go ahead and connect this to my piece of wood. So I'm going to make a loop. I hope you all can see this. I'm going to give it some indentation. And then I'm going to take my round nose pliers and just put this in between my round nose pliers, push this up, and wrap it around. And I'm going to take it around a couple times, okay? The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my wire cutters, and I'm going to snip off that excess that we have on there, okay? Then I'm going to take my round nose pliers, and I'm going to go in and just squeeze that in so that part is not sticking. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to take and start from the back, place it down in the hole just like that, and I'm just going to eyeball it, because that's pretty much what I do, because I want to push it up to the top of the bead. Okay, so I'm going to push it up just like this to the top of the bead. And this is pretty much what you should have. Okay, now I'm going to take this piece here and I'm going to push this piece up. Okay, and make sure when you push it up with as much force, because you want it to be nice and tight. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to just start wrapping it around the piece that's in the back. okay? And then I'm going to just do a series of wraps, holding it as tight as I can as possible, okay? So I did about 3 wraps, okay? Now you can make as many as you would like, but this is pretty much how your piece is going to start to look. Now I'm going to take and cut off this excess right here because that's a lot. So I'm going to snip that off because we're done with that. And then I'm going to take my round nose pliers once again, and I'm going to come up and I'm going to just try to hide that piece. There it is, so that's not sticking, okay? So pretty much this is what you are going to have, ladies and gentlemen. The next thing I'm going to do, now I'm going to take my rings off of this because I'm going to mess with this paint. I am going to paint my entire wood piece, okay? And like I said, you can use any choice of paint that you want, but for the design that I'm doing, I choose black paint, okay? So we just want to paint the whole entire bead. Now for the sake of the video, ladies and gentlemen, I will be back. You're just gonna paint the whole piece of wood, and then once it dries, I will be back. Okay, everyone, so while we are waiting for our stars to dry, we are going to go ahead and there's a couple of other things that you need to do. So what I did with this fabric, I cut an inch, okay, I cut an inch thick. I cut it an inch thick, and what I did was, I am going to show you. After I cut it an inch thick, I folded over, and then I pleated it. Okay, so I took my on, I'm going to open it up and show you. I took my on, and I on one side down, folded over, one side down, on and fold the other side down, and then I came and I on both sides together and made it like a pleat, okay? I did the whole entire piece this way, okay? So that's what you're going to do next. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take our 12 gauge wire that is 12 inches long, and we're going to make a loop because these are going to be the centerpieces for our stars, okay? So I made a loop, and then I'm just going to just wrap it. I'm going to just wrap it into one circle. It's going to be like one big circle, okay? And I like doing this with my hand. Okay, so I'm going to take my 2 fingers, and I'm just going to start rolling it up. I think I like doing it with my hand because I can give it more force, more pressure to make it tight, to make the spirals tight, okay? And we're going to do this all the way up. Just go completely up, and you're going to do both pieces this way, okay? Now once you get to the top, this is pretty much what your piece should look like. You are going to take and put a loop up at the top, okay? So we're going to make a loop, and this is pretty much what you are going to have, okay? So now I'm going to go and check on our other pieces, and I will be back. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I am back. Our piece is dry, and the reason that I use this this gloss paint is because when you use a paint that's not gloss, a lot of times we have to put a gloss on our finished projects. But if you use something that already has gloss in it, I don't know, you see that shine right there? You don't really have to put any gloss on this. This is like a finished piece already, okay? So this is dry, so we're going to go ahead and get to our next part. Now our next part, what we're going to do, and I need you all to please make sure that you watch this, because this technique is not an easy technique. It's not hard, but it's not easy, okay? So what I am going to do, I am going to take and put a smidge of glue right here in the corner of my star. Okay, I really did not mean to use that much. Just a tad bit of glue is really all what we need. And then I'm going to take my fabric and I'm going to place it over top of where I put my glue. Okay, just like that. We're going to press it down so it can really stick. Now, most of the time, whenever I make something using fabric, I never do a lot of glue in between, because one thing about that hot glue, when it get hot, y'all. All right, so I'm gonna stop talking and press it down. And what we're going to do is the piece that you have in, this is pretty much going to be the back of our earring. This is going to be the front of our earring, okay? This is going to be the, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to, once we glue this piece on the back, we're going to have two sides. We're going to have a front and a back, okay? So this is our back piece and this is our front piece. We're going to take our fabric and bring it around the front, just like this. Now, this technique, y'all, you really have to pay attention because it's kind of tricky, okay? But once you get it, you got it, okay? So you're going to take it and bring it around this piece right here. You're going to flip it to the back. You're going to bring it over and bring it to the front, flip it to the back, bring it over again, okay? And then you're going to repeat what you did the last time, okay? And that's how you get all four of your sides covered. Now, I'm going to repeat this because sometimes we get a little lost. And it's not that we get lost, but if it's something that you're doing for the very first time, it can be confusing. So I'm going to show you how I did this one more time. This is the back. You bring this piece to the front. You bring this piece over to the back, front, back, front, back, front, back, front, back. And then you're going to end up back here. Okay? And then when you get back here, you'll notice that you've made a beautiful design, okay? And it's going to be like that on the front and the back of your piece, okay? Now, when you get to the very last part, which is right here, you want to take and pull it as tight as you can get it, and we're just going to cut this piece off. And I'm sorry, I forgot to mention, y'all, some scissors. And we're going to cut this piece off right here. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to put a little bit of glue in between here. Okay, just a smidge. I got the wrong glue gun today. This is my big one. I just use this one for real big projects. So we're going to put a little glue in between. We're going to squeeze that together. And then we're going to take and we're going to put a smidge of glue right here. Just a little smidge of glue. Because like I said, the one thing about hot glue gun is that it sticks, okay? You won't have to worry about it coming loose because it sticks. Okay, so now this is the end result of our wrap, okay? Now, if you have any loose pieces or anything like that, you just take your scissors and you snip that off. And this is what you are going to have. This is going to be the front of your earring, and this is going to be the back of your earring, okay? Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our E6000, and we're going to take one of our beautiful circles that we made, and we're going to put some E6000 in the middle of our star. Okay. And then I'm just going to take and place this right just like that. Now, if you want to, ladies and gentlemen, you can use your glue gun. But the one thing about the E6000 is that I know that once it dries, it's permanent. When you're doing pieces. Now, I'll put a little bit of glue in the middle, and then I'm going to put my coil shell right in the middle of that, just like that. Okay? And last but not least, I'm going to take my fish hook and attach it to my earring. And you can do this earring, ladies and gentlemen, in so many colors. You can do this in so many colors. You can make it in so many different ways. You can actually put another bead up at the top if you want to make it drop, to make it a little longer. It's completely up to you. The sky is the limit for this earring right here, okay? So I made one earlier, and this is the one, this is like my prototype that I made earlier using pretty much the same fabric, but I did not have any more of this left over. It's the same type of fabric, but the thing about when you use African fabric, the way that the prints run, sometimes the print doesn't, it doesn't match up. So you can find these in my Etsy shop. They are for sale if someone would like to buy these. I want to thank you all for joining me for this DIY. I hope it was very, very helpful. You all, if you do decide to make these earrings and you decide to sell them, please tag me in some of your videos that you make. If I don't even know if you make videos, but if you have an Instagram account, whatever you use, whatever type of social media you use, please tag me in. I would love to see your work. I would love to see you all do this piece right here. I want to thank you all for watching. I want to also thank you all for my new and old subscribers. Also, y'all, I am getting ready to do a giveaway, so be on the lookout for that. I will be doing that video coming up sometime within this week. Y'all have a wonderful and awesome day. Have a wonderful week, ladies and gentlemen. Peace and blessings. See ya.